this is an iHeart podcast. Guaranteed human.
With no fees or minimums on checking accounts, it's no wonder the Capital One bank guy is so passionate about banking with Capital One. If he were here, he wouldn't just tell you about no fees or minimums. He'd also talk about how most Capital One cafes are open 7 days a week to assist with your banking needs. Yep, even on weekends. It's pretty much all he talks about, in a good way. What's in your wallet? Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank. Capital One, N.A., member FDIC.
Hi, Kyle. Could you draw up a quick document with the basic business plan, just one page, as a Google Doc, and send me the link? Thanks.
Hey, just finished drawing up that quick one-page business plan for you. Here's the link.
But there was no link. There was no business plan. I hadn't programmed Kyle to be able to do that yet. I'm Evan Ratliff, here with a story of entrepreneurship in the AI age. Listen as I attempt to build a real startup run by fake people. Check out the second season of my podcast, Shell Game, on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome to Stuff You Should Know from HowStuffWorks.com.
Hey, and welcome to the podcast. I'm Josh Clark. There's Charles W. Chuck Bryant. This is Stuff You Should Know, the podcast.
This will be done all in sing-song.
You don't want to hear me sing songs because
I've heard you sing songs.
Your heart will melt, glasses will break,
my heart will go on,
birds will chirp,
and grown men will kiss each other on the mouth.
Right.
So inspiring.
That'd be pretty cool if you could do that just by singing.
Yeah.
Like, you kiss him now, glass you break.
What you're talking about is Chevy Chase in Modern Problems.
I never saw that one.
He didn't have to sing, but he gained telekinetic abilities. He could make things happen just by thinking them.
I shouldn't even say I never saw that one. That's not that much of a surprise. Everyone knows how my dad raised me. But I'd never even heard of that one until just now.
80s movie, Modern Problems. It was very dumb, but it was one of those early HBO movies for me. Uh-huh. So I just sat around and watched it like constantly. And it had a couple of dirty jokes, so I was oh my God.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do we get on that? It was me.
So, Chuck.
Yes, Josh.
We are now friends, I guess you could say.
After 4 years, we finally crossed that cusp.
No, I'm not talking about us.
Oh. We're not friends still.
You and I are friends. Yes, we are. We are friends with Science Channel.
Oh, yeah.
And as such, we are pretty excited that they have something going on pretty soon.
Yeah, and this relates to our podcast topic, which is the reason we're mentioning it.
It's the very reason we chose this podcast topic.
Yeah.
Science Channel is bringing Fringe, the cult classic television show Fringe, to its airwaves.
Yeah.
Starting November 20th.
Yep, they're going to show all 5 seasons. And we were even lucky enough to meet the guy.
The guy.
At Comic-Con.
Yeah, not Joshua Jackson.
Dr. Fringe.
Yeah.
That's not his name.
Timmy Fringe.
Mr. Noble, and he was very nice. And
yeah, because he's not just on Fringe, he's on Dark Matters, too. He's the host of Dark Matters on Science Channel.
That's
John
true.
Noble.
But I personally watched Fringe. I watched all the first season. Mm-hmm. Me and Emily did. Emily and I, excuse me. And I really enjoyed it, and it was one of those things that I didn't watch season 2 beyond because it just, life got in the way or something. But it wasn't because I didn't like it. It was really good. It sort of had a X-Files vibe.
Oh, yeah, and the twist that they've managed to work in there.
Yeah, but the science was more predominant.
Right.
So I liked it, and I'm totally going to watch seasons. Well, I'll probably start with season 1 again.
Well, then you should tune in November 20th.
Yeah, and I'm going to watch seasons 2 through 5 now on Science Channel. I'm pretty stoked about that.
Right.
Yep.
In honor of Fringe, we chose kind of a Fringe science-y topic. You did.
That's right.
I think it's a good one, Chuck.
Yeah.
Designing children. Remember that show?
Oh, yeah.
Man.
What was the one that followed it with Burt Reynolds, Evening Shade? That seemed like
Was that Tide? Was that a spinoff?
No, but I think they were packaged together as
gotcha.
the Tuesday night redneck hour.
Sugar bakers.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I watched Designing Women. I didn't watch Evening Shade, though, which surprises me because I love Burt Reynolds.
I didn't see it either.
But yeah, Designing Women.
It was a good show. No, we're talking about designing children, and not just designing children, designer children.
That's right.
The idea that one day, in the very, very, very near future.
Yeah, like now.
will be able to make kids made to order.
Yeah, in certain ways. Like, I think right now, we have the ability to select eye and hair color, but they're just not doing it yet because they tried that in Los Angeles and people were like, whoa, 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 whoa.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, we don't like this. We shouldn't be doing this.
And I think that's really significant that happened. Like the first real commercial attempt for basically just saying, hey, you want a blonde kid? We can give you a blonde kid. Mm-hmm. Received public outcry, international outcry.
Yeah.
So much so that the people were like, okay, sorry, we opened our mouths.
Yeah,
Everybody
geez.
just forget we said anything.
Here's your brunette.
You know? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You roll the dice, jerks. We don't care.
Right.
But I find that significant, you know?
Sure.
Because I wonder, how it's going to go, when it does become really commercially viable to really make your kid a different person than they would have been naturally, like how people will accept that.
Yeah, I mean, this is the stuff of science fiction that is really happening now. The movie Gattaca is referenced in this article.
I never saw it.
Really good movie.
Is it really good?
Yeah, man, it's good. It's like a thinking man's science, I don't know if you call it a thriller. Maybe a thriller. Intrigue, at the very least.
Okay.
But, yeah, it's good. And basically the synopsis there is, without spoiling anything, is that
every time you say that, you spoil it.
The not too distant future, we are able to, in Gattaca, to build designer children that will grow into designer adults that are like disease free and highly athletic and very intelligent.
Yeah.
And then the rest of the schlubs of the world are, sorry, TS for them, basically.
Yeah. Go eat your potato chips.
Yeah. So see Gattaca. It's a good one.
Okay.
You'll like it.
Yeah, every time you say, like, this isn't going to spoil things.
I tried really hard not to spoil there.
I was watching an episode of Breaking Bad the other day, you and I were, and I was like, how do I know what's about to happen? And I was like, Chuck!
Did I spoil something there?
Yeah, in the meth episode.
I thought you meant the one in Breaking Bad that was about meth. I was like, they're all about meth.
Right.
I didn't spoil that.
No, no.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. So sorry. That was not a spoiler for Gattaca, though.
So, Chuck.
Yes.
Let's talk about all this. You say in 2009 they came out against that fertility clinic in Los Angeles.
Yes.
That's a good example of a commercial business saying, hey, we can do this now. A good example of a government saying, hey, you can do this now. We need to do something about it. Was the UK proposing a bill, and we couldn't find out whether it passed or not.
It's so frustrating how hard it is to find out things like this sometimes.
Yeah. If you write an article about something that is big enough for somebody else to use in an article, you better follow up.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's your duty, journalist.
So what we know is it was protested at least, so I'm not sure if it went through.
Well, and the reason it was protested largely by the deaf and hard of hearing community over there, because this bill would have or did prohibit selecting kids for disease or disability, right? Mm-hmm. So it allowed you to select against that. So if you have a kid that has a disability, you can be like, I don't want that kid. Mm-hmm. But it prohibited selecting for them. And the deaf community said, hey, if hearing parents can select hearing kids, deaf parents should be able to select deaf kids. So if you're going to call deafness a disability, you need to change this bill.
Yeah.
Which is a pretty cool thing to protest, if you ask me.
I don't know how I felt about it. I still don't know.
Wow, this is going to be a good one then.
I was utterly confused.
I
was like, why would you want your child to be deaf and be at a disadvantage straight out of the gate in life? But then I thought, well, is it a disadvantage?
Exactly. That is a great, great question.
So I don't know. That's where I ended up was,
Did you know that 93%, that's the highest, most recent figure I've seen, 93% of all Down syndrome fetuses are aborted? 93%.
I believe that.
Right. And that's the same question. It's like, some people are like, well, why would you want your kid to be disadvantaged? And
well, are aborted or not selected through IVF?
Aborted.
Okay.
And so some people would say, why would you want your kid to have, your kid's going to have a disadvantage? And other people say, like, have you ever met a person with Down syndrome? Like, they're pretty awesome people.
Yeah.
you know?
Exactly.
And I think that's just one argument
Yeah.
throughout this idea of designing children.
Save your siblings was also included in that bill in England. Let parents select embryos that would make suitable savior siblings.
Yeah.
Very controversial. I read a couple of articles on this. Savior siblings are basically kids that you conceive initially with the purpose of being able to act as donors for their older brother or sister.
Like the kid that you love is born with like bad kidneys.
Yeah.
Have another kid that's going to be a suitable tissue donor because you know ahead of time before the kid's even born that it will be.
Yeah.
So that they can give them one of their kidneys.
Yeah, there was a article that I read where these parents had a quote-unquote savior child and used, they said what we ended up using was a teaspoon of umbilical blood that would have been thrown in the trash, and that's what saved our other kid's life. And this is not a designer child. It's not some freak of science. This is the reason we had this child, but doesn't make it any less valid. So
I think ultimately it's how you treat the child after they're born.
Well, you treat them as like your regular child.
You
it's
would
not like
hope.
you put them in a closet and wait for the kidney.
Sure, you'd hope, but at the same time, I mean, like you can go down the road and say, well, having a savior sibling is also having a kid to strip for parts.
Yeah.
There's another interpretation of the whole thing. So I mean, like, if you are going to have your kid like that, is it valid for society to be like, whoa, you can't do that? How are you going to treat your kid afterward? Like,
is that one of the worries? How they would treat the kid? I've never heard that as an argument.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, because it's not like you can have a kid harvest all of their organs and kill them.
Of course not.
So I think it's like the impact it's going to have on that child and their own identity as like a human being, and a unique individual human being rather than a walking organ bank for their brother.
I would think I would appreciate that growing up, knowing that I was born with a higher purpose of potentially saving my older brother if he ever needed it.
Sure. Sure. Depending on how you were raised.
Yeah.
Are you like Danny DeVito in Twins?
Right.
Or are you like the savior sibling? It's a great way to put it. Like you're the savior of this other sibling.
Yeah.
It just all depends, to me, on how the parents raise those children in that abnormal dynamic that's fostered through our technology.
Yeah, I can't imagine, though, that a parent who would care enough about their one child to have another to save them would mistreat or shun the other child in any way. That just doesn't make sense to me.
I just opened my hands in a gesture of I don't know everybody.
All right.
So let's talk about this, Chuck. Let's talk genetics for a little bit. I had to go back and do some genetics 101 priming. And I did that. As I did it, I realized that I wasn't going back and remembering it. I was teaching myself for the first time in a lot of ways.
Yeah, sure.
I've never really gotten genetics, even though it's so straightforward and cut and dried.
Yeah.
There's always, like, even if you read this Designer Children article, like, these are two of our best writers, and, like, it just doesn't come across quite right.
Oh, you
to
thought?
me. Maybe it's just me.
Maybe so. Like me in numbers.
So, back in 2003,
Yes.
the Human Genome Project announced that it had fulfilled its destiny and successfully mapped the human genome. And the human genome is the sum total of the information contained in the human DNA.
That's right.
Right?
Are you going to say the word?
What?
What DNA stands for?
Oh, deoxyribonucleic acid.
I would say deoxy.
Yeah. I've always heard dioxy, and then I was looking at that E. So
Yeah.
Either way.
Well done, though.
DNA. And DNA is simply a couple of strands of sugar that form a helix, a double helix. And they're joined by what looks like rungs on a ladder.
Sugar and phosphate, yeah.
Okay. And these rungs are made up of nucleotides, one coming off of each of these strands.
Yeah, the little twisty ladder that we all love now.
Exactly. So the rungs of the ladder are made of these nucleotides, and when they come together, one on each side, they form this full rung. And those are called base pairs. And there's 4 types of nucleotides, right?
That's right.
There is adenine, cytosine, thymine, and guanine. And you put them together, and what you come up with, ultimately, is a 4-letter language for the blueprint of an organism.
Pretty cool.
Not just making an organism, but maintaining it as well. And if you look along this strand of DNA, you're going to find little segments where this combination, if read by a ribosome, can be used to explain how a cell can make a certain kind of protein. Usually about 3 proteins on average.
Right.
And proteins are what are used as the building blocks of cellular life and its functions. Like everything from our behavior to like the structure of your eye
Right.
is based on proteins, right? And your genes, these little segments that are encoded along the DNA that express these proteins are blueprints for how to express the proteins. That's how they're made. That's what they do.
That's right.
Right?
That's right. We have between 26,000 and 40,000 genes.
Right.
As a human.
Everybody's so happy you just did that.
As a human.
Human.
God, I just messed it up.
Mm-hmm.
How about that?
Had you been designed properly, that wouldn't have happened.
So what I thought was interesting, that out of the 3 billion base pairs, it's about half and half
Right.
of useful DNA and the rest are junk DNA?
Yeah, junk DNA.
Okay.
And they don't think that it's like junk DNA, like it's totally useless. They think that possibly...
We haven't found the use yet.
Right.
Yeah.
Or they think that possibly one of the uses is that it says, it tells, like stop. Like here's where this gene stops.
Yeah.
Or this is how much of this protein you should express in this adjacent gene that this junk DNA is next to. Or it just provides like structure, like actual structure to the double helix.
Right.
It's also possible that this is just DNA left over that was deposited by viruses eons ago that don't express themselves any longer in us.
Right.
Because that's what viruses do. They insert their own DNA in ours.
That's right.
Isn't that crazy?
Dirty buggers.
Yeah. So you've got this DNA. It's making up chromosomes. You've got 23 in your body. And as complex and as massive as this sounds, Chuck.
23 pairs.
23 pairs, thank you. As massive and complex as this whole thing sounds, every cell, except for a mature red blood cell, has a full human genome and many chromosomes in it.
Yes.
Every cell. And that's just in the nucleus.
That's crazy.
It is crazy. So you've got all this. We've got a pretty good handle on this. The human genome, we've mapped it. Now we go back and figure out where the genes are. And they used to think that it was like 96% of DNA was junk. And then they found out that like if you look at the human genome, some areas are gene rich. There's a lot of genes. Other areas are gene deserts where there's very few, right? We have to go back and look at this map and basically crack this code of this 4-letter language and figure out what genes are what they do, and then ultimately how to manipulate them. And once we do that, we effectively have taken humanity out of evolution.
That's right. Scary.
Is it?
I think so.
Our friend David Pierce would beg to differ.
Who?
The guy from the Happiness audiobook. He
Oh,
said
right.
that we should ratchet up human happiness because we can.
Yeah. Boy, it's an interesting argument. That's all I'm going to say.
Hi, Kyle. Could you draw up a quick document with the basic business plan, just 1 page, as a Google Doc, and send me the link? Thanks.
Hey, just finished drawing up that quick 1-page business plan for you. Here's the link.
But there was no link. There was no business plan. It's not his fault. I hadn't programmed Kyle to be able to do that yet. My name is Evan Ratliff. I decided to create Kyle, my AI co-founder, after hearing a lot of stuff like this from OpenAI CEO Sam Altman.
There's this betting pool for the first year that there's a one-person billion-dollar company, which would have been like unimaginable without AI, and now will happen.
I got to thinking, could I be that one person? I'd made AI agents before for my award-winning podcast, Shell Game. This season on Shell Game, I'm trying to build a real company with a real product run by fake people.
Oh, hey, Evan. Good to have you join us. I found some really interesting data on adoption rates for AI agents in small to medium businesses.
Listen to Shell Game on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
The moments that shape us often begin with a simple question. What do I want my life to look like now? I'm Dr. Joy Harden Bradford, and on Therapy for Black Girls, we create space for honest conversations about identity, relationships, mental health, and the choices that help us grow. As cybersecurity expert Camille Stewart Gloucester reminds us,
We are in a divisive time where our comments are weaponized against us. And so what we find is a lot of Black women are standing up and speaking out because they feel the brunt of the pain.
Each week, we explore the tools and insights that help you move with purpose, whether you're navigating something new or returning to yourself. If you're ready for thoughtful guidance and grounded support, this is the place for you. Listen to Therapy for Black Girls on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
So we're already kind of at a very primitive form of this, aren't we?
Well, yeah, like I said, we feasibly could choose eye color and hair color if we wanted to.
Right.
And then one thing we can definitely do is, well, I guess we should explain about IVF for those of you who don't know.
Right.
In 1978, we first perform in vitro fertilization, which basically means when you're a couple and you're having trouble having a kid, there are a bunch of different steps you can take, a bunch of different routes you can take, and one of them is IVF, which means you take the sperm from the man, egg from the lady, and you get them together outside of the human body to form a zygote, and then you put it back in the woman, and then she takes it from there. And it is can be expensive. It can be very hard on the woman, on her body, and you
emotionally.
know, emotionally.
I think it's probably hard on the couple emotionally. If
Sure,
it doesn't stick.
But dudes aren't pumped full of hormones.
Sure,
you know what I'm saying. So that is what IVF is, and that is one way that you can have a baby if you're having trouble having babies. With IVF came something called pre-implantation genetic diagnosis, PGD, which basically means, hey, we can look at your stuff here, and if you are predisposed in your family to certain things, like hemophilia A, Down syndrome, Tay-Sachs syndrome, we can stop this process now and try again.
Right, we can screen for it.
Yeah.
And some of it's intuitive, like with hemophilia A, if you and your husband both have that usually tends to strike boys more than girls.
Yeah.
So they'd probably not use embryos that were male, likely male. They would use female embryos instead.
Which brings up the sticky point of choosing your gender.
Right.
Yeah.
Some others you can find that evidence of that disease, that say I guess malfunctioning gene that creates that disease, because that's what disease is.
Yeah.
And not use those embryos either. So we are kind of at this primitive state, but it's selective.
It is, and these are tough decisions that couples face in life. A lot of thought should go into this if you're out there going through this process.
Sure.
It's it ain't easy, and don't let anyone else tell you what you should or shouldn't do. You know, this is a personal thing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So that's what's going on the IVF tip.
So yeah, the point is from that came PGD.
Yeah.
Pre-implantation genetic diagnosis, which is kind of right now the most widely available type of genetic engineering for couples looking to have a baby, right?
Right. And like we said, the sticky point of potentially being able to choose your gender. If you really want a boy, you've got 3 girls, and man, I really wanted a boy. And then in countries like China, where they definitely want boys, it's like this could be the future that might upset the balance of nature and how many boys and girls are born.
Yeah.
And what does that mean for the future?
So I heard to have a soft landing from their one-child policy, which they're now starting to relax. They should have stopped it about 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So does that mean they're in trouble?
Yeah.
Does that mean we need to follow up like we recommended writers do on our podcast?
Oh yeah, you want to?
Sure. Well, I guess you just did.
Oh, okay. There it was. Right. I heard. So Chuck, we've got this genetic screening. That's one way to do it. There's also another way that is a little further out as far as humans go, and that is transgenic therapy, which is where you take the gene of something else, that desirous trait, and insert it into the human, right?
Right. So this isn't just subtracting. This is actually adding a gene. Right.
What we've been talking about to this point is unnatural selection.
Yeah.
But it's been selection. It's like this is it appeared naturally, but we're going to take away all of the other. We're going to reduce the chances that it won't happen. or we're going to increase the chances that will happen.
Right.
This is straight up copying and pasting or cutting and pasting genes to create something desirable or new.
That's right. And they already do this in animals. So, if you can do it in animals, it's not going to be long before you can do it with humans.
Sure.
And long term, maybe that means we can eliminate certain diseases by correcting this stuff along the way.
Right.
Like before it happens. So that could be good.
So when you take a gene from one animal and implant it into another, that's become a transgenic animal, or a chimera, which is based on the goat, serpent, lion, fire-breathing animal of legend from Greece.
Yeah.
They call it a chimera, which is kind of hurtful, I think, especially if you're a human and know what a chimera is.
Sure.
And you're a chimera. I'm sure you probably hurt your feelings. But thus far, there aren't any human chimeras as far as I know. It's mostly the big one that we've actually talked about unknowingly before is BioSteel, the goat with the spider. Remember? We were trying to figure out how they got spider silk from a goat.
Yeah, it's pretty easy.
Body vest one?
It turns out that spiders and goats share enough traits to where this ultra-strong spider silk can be produced in the goat's milk.
Yeah.
They have similar proteins, and they said, I don't know how they came across that. I'm sure they had some hint. I don't know why they would start with a goat's milk.
Yeah, I don't know either. But the protein...
You know what would happen if we put this spider silk in this goat's milk?
What rhymes with spider silk? Goat's milk.
Let's try that.
Start there.
Yeah, it worked.
But they figured out that like the protein in spider silk is similar to a protein in goat's milk.
It's identical.
And once you inject the goat's genes with that spider gene,
it just meshes like a glove.
It starts producing a ton of that protein in its milk, and you harvest that protein and then start weaving spider silk and make the stuff called BioSteel, which is really, really good body armor.
Yeah, and that's where we talked about it, right?
Yeah.
Body Armor Podcast that you can find on our RSS feed.
Yeah, and which also happened to be our first ever listener request.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Someone requested that?
Mm-hmm.
And we acquiesced.
Yes.
And then we started getting all those emails. So the point of that is they're doing this in animals. There are scenarios where we could potentially do this with humans. But in another follow-up article we read, turns out that enhancing ourselves genetically could eventually lead to unknowing consequences down the road.
Sure.
Specifically in this case, we have learned that our human brain is evolving. It's getting larger. It's gaining more cognitive abilities as we evolve. And if you start tampering with natural selection via genetic modification, these things might not show up right away. It might show up generations later. So you might be doing something you think will help when in fact, years from now, it might keep your brain from growing like everyone else's.
Right.
And this is just one example of something that could go wrong.
'Cause, organisms evolve, right, through mutations.
Yeah.
Well, we lack the foresight to know what mutation will be beneficial and what will be harmful years down the line.
Yeah.
So even something that may be harmful immediately or somewhat harmful could be extremely beneficial decades, hundreds, thousands, millions of years from now.
Yeah.
And we would never know.
Nope.
That's
and then
one,
it's too late once you've done it.
Yeah, you're done. No, I kind of had the impression that, like, once you start tampering, you could conceivably, keep improving, but it would have to be constant.
Well, and what this article points out, which is a good point, is natural selection is at its best when you've got a large gene pool, and if you're narrowing that gene pool for a reason you think is great, you're still narrowing the gene pool.
Right.
And
I think proponents of genetic engineering would say, well, that's fine. We're narrowing the gene pool. Who cares? We're taking full control of evolution so evolution can kiss off.
Yeah.
But this raises all sorts of questions, like some of which we've already touched upon, but like who decides what's ideal?
Right.
Who decides what traits are good and what are bad? What happens when this becomes, commercially viable, but is still extremely expensive?
Yeah.
Then just the wealthy have designer children? Well, I mean, what kind of designer children do we make? I read this one ethicist who said that we have a moral obligation to genetically engineer and modify our kids so that they're not a harm to themselves or other people.
I read that one.
Which makes a lot of sense.
Uh-huh.
Like, I can see how that is a moral obligation. Like, if you have the technology to improve people and improve society like that, you have to do it.
Yeah.
You know, but then, of course, there's, like, the other side. It's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
We don't really know what we're doing here.
Playing God.
Yeah, because, I mean, what happens if you make a kid that's off a little bit and, like, they're, like, just totally messed up?
Yeah.
But they wouldn't have been if you hadn't tampered with them.
Yeah.
Who's responsible for that? And in what ways are you responsible for it?
Well, and not more importantly, but additionally, where are the lines drawn, you know? Is it okay to say, like, I'd kind of like my baby to have blue eyes?
Right.
No big deal, right?
Yeah.
Was that the line, or is the line like, maybe it'd be cool if they were athletic,
right,
and super smart, and had blue eyes and blonde hair,
but
and then boom, boys from Brazil.
But what are the problems with those things?
Well, yeah,
you know,
sure, it's good to be athletic and smart,
right? Or happy is another one that David Pierce
Yeah.
pointed out that I find tough to disagree with. Like, if you have the technology to make your kids happier, like ratchet up their baseline happiness is how we put it, why wouldn't you do that? If you can make society a better place because everybody's happier, why wouldn't you do that? Well, this is just the Luddite in me saying, you know, there's always far-reaching consequences. There's always ripples to every stone you throw in a lake.
Yeah.
You know, like what else is going to happen if everybody's happy?
Yeah.
Are there downfalls? Are there setbacks? What's going on?
I know. It is a tricky, tricky subject.
Anytime we bring up genes, it becomes a tricky subject.
It does.
Which is why they're fascinating.
That's right. And why people really get up on their soapbox when they, you know, this means a lot to a lot of people. Religious circles, scientific circles. A lot of folks are weighing in from different, you know, parts
Square
of society.
Circles.
I don't even know what that means.
It was just stupid.
Okay.
Hi, Kyle. Could you draw up a quick document with the basic business plan, just one page, as a Google Doc, and send me the link? Thanks.
Hey, just finished drawing up that quick one-page business plan for you. Here's the link.
But there was no link. There was no business plan. It's not his fault. I hadn't programmed Kyle to be able to do that yet. My name is Evan Ratliff. I decided to create Kyle, my AI co-founder, after hearing a lot of stuff like this from OpenAI CEO Sam Altman.
There's this betting pool for the first year that there's a one-person billion-dollar company, which would have been like unimaginable without AI, and now will happen.
I got to thinking, could I be that one person? I'd made AI agents before for my award-winning podcast, Shell Game. This season on Shell Game, I'm trying to build a real company with a real product run by fake people.
Oh, hey, Evan. Good to have you join us. I found some really interesting data on adoption rates for AI agents in small to medium businesses.
Listen to Shell Game on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
The moments that shape us often begin with a simple question. What do I want my life to look like now? I'm Dr. Joy Harden Bradford, and on Therapy for Black Girls, we create space for honest conversations about identity, relationships, mental health, and the choices that help us grow. As cybersecurity expert Camille Stewart-Gloucester reminds us,
we are in a divisive time where our comments are weaponized against us. And so what we find is a lot of Black women are standing up and speaking out because they feel the brunt of the pain.
Each week we explore the tools and insights that help you move with purpose, whether you're navigating something new or returning to yourself. If you're ready for thoughtful guidance and grounded support, this is the place for you. Listen to Therapy for Black Girls on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
If you want to learn more about genetics, How Stuff Works is loaded with them, articles on it. Yeah. You can type in genetics, genes, designer babies, whatever you want in the handy search bar, and it's going to bring up some pretty cool articles. We recommend you waste a year or two reading them. And I said handy search bar, I think, so that means it's time for listener mail.
That's right, Josh. I am going to call this plug for our friends at QSAC. Remember meeting Sandra at Trivia Night in New York? She gave us the hats. The baseball caps?
Yeah, what is the...
QSAC is the Quality Services for the Autism Community.
Okay, all right.
So this from Sandra. She's super sweet, very nice, and she says this. Guys, thanks so much for humoring my overenthusiasm for my cause. and my overenthusiasm for meeting you guys at Trivia Night, who I look up to. It was an amazing night of randomness. All the other people on our second-place team met in line, total strangers. After my initial starstruckness died down, which never happens to me because I work with famous people all the time and couldn't care less, I just felt like it just felt like a night where I was hanging out with a few buddies I've known for a while. She was talking about us. She's starstruck.
We're very approachable.
It's just silly. She said, I felt that way about my whole table of strangers, actually. So anyway, she told us that night about QSAC, organization she's with, and she says, I'm very passionate about QSAC because they changed my life, literally. I did a 5K to support them because it was local. My nephew is autistic, and I wanted to see if I could actually walk that far. She had broken both her ankles the previous year.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I thought that was funny, too. Man, I wonder if she was it called Cobbled?
Cobbled?
Was that in Misery?
Oh, yeah, that's what I was
thinking. Was it cobbling?
There's a name for that?
Or hobbling. She hobbled?
Hobbled. Cobbled would be if you just broke the foot rather than the ankle.
It might be called hobbling.
Yeah, you're hobbled. But that's like a state.
No, but the process by which Kathy Bates broke the ankles.
I don't want to talk about it.
It was called something like it was
hobbling somebody.
Maybe I'll look that up. Oh, that was so nasty. Anyway, I don't think Sandra was cobbled or hobbled. So at the time, I had no clue who they were. CUSAC made friends with everyone there and many people who worked there. And then 3 months later, I actually started work there as an employee. I was in corporate television as a video editor for 10 years, and it beat down my soul. I was always volunteering and donating what I could, and I felt like maybe nonprofit is what I should be doing. The opportunity arose, and I took it, and it has been life-changing, dudes. Since you guys are so excellent at being philanthropic, I decided to see if you would be interested in knowing more. So Josh mentioned you guys were considering doing a podcast on autism. I'm sure we'll get around to that at some point, right?
For sure.
If you do, I have plenty of people that could answer a lot of questions and gladly pass along addresses and phone numbers. CUSAC has been around for over 30 years, truly amazing in helping the New York City and Long Island areas. So, if you guys want to help support this great cause for autism, you can go to QSAC.com, or she has a bowling page, and I think you do it's like fundraisers going through bowling.
Right.
At www.firstgiving.com/fundraiser/Sandra Soroka/bowl. And that is Sandra, Soroka, Sandra Soroka.
Very nice.
And yeah, she was super nice, and she's working for autism now.
Very cool, man. Can I give one more shout out? We heard from another listener.
Of course.
A listener named Emily Eisenman is running for LifeStraw. Did you see this email?
I did, and I was going to read that later. Let's go ahead and do it now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So Emily is running for LifeStraw. She heard our podcast from 2010 on LifeStraw, and she's decided to raise $1,000 to buy LifeStraws by running 1,000 miles.
Wow.
Yeah. And she is going to cross the 1,000-mile mark for the year this week, which she may have already done it. And she's proving to be a better better runner than a fundraiser, she says. So, if everybody who listens to Stuff You Should Know would go help her fundraise, that would be fantastic. You can go to www.fundly.com/run4lifestraw. And you guys can go check that out and help Emily raise some money for LifeStraw. And if you are unfamiliar with LifeStraw, go listen to our podcast on that subject.
Which you can probably are going to have to find on our RSS feed as well.
Yeah, that is...
just, you know what you do? You Google, or you get your favorite search bar, and you type in Stuff You Should Know, RSS feed, and it's like, boom, right there. All of our shows ever.
Yep, Stuff You Should Know, RSS. Every single one. It's good stuff. All right, well, I guess that's it, right?
That is it, sir.
All right, if you want to contact us, you can tweet to us at SYSK Podcast. Join us on Facebook.com/Stuff You Should Know. And you can send us a good old-fashioned email to stuffpodcast@discovery.com.
For more on this and thousands of other topics, visit howstuffworks.com.
Hi, Kyle. Could you draw up a quick document with the basic business plan? Just one page, as a Google Doc, and send me the link? Thanks.
Hey, just finished drawing up that quick one-page business plan for you. Here's the link.
But there was no link. There was no business plan. I hadn't programmed Kyle to be able to do that yet. I'm Evan Ratliff, here with a story of entrepreneurship in the AI age. Listen as I attempt to build a real startup run by fake people. Check out the second season of my podcast, Shell Game, on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Whether it is getting swatted or just hateful messages online, there is a lot of harm in even just reading the comments.
That's cybersecurity expert Camille Stewart-Gloucester on the Therapy for Black Girls podcast. Every season is a chance to grow, and the Therapy for Black Girls podcast is here to walk with you. I'm Dr. Joy Harden-Bradford, and each week we dive into real conversations that help you move with more clarity and confidence. This episode, we're breaking down what really happens to your information online and how to protect yourself with intention. Listen to Therapy for Black Girls on the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts.
This is an iHeart podcast. Guaranteed human.